All right, so the prospect previews are going to continue on here today with Anton Frondell, and I'm very excited to talk about this player. This guy's a little bit up in the air, though, in terms of his draft rankings when I look at that. This guy is an overpowering two-way forward. That's what he's mostly known for. He has a good offensive side to his game, but is also pretty good defensively as well, and I think that it's something that is a little bit underrated in his game that nobody really talks about. Again, like, defensively, he's not, like, incredible, but he's better than a lot of people really project him to be. But first and foremost, the basic info on Anton Frondell. He was born July 5th, 2007 in Trängsund, Sweden. He's 6'1", 186 pounds. He weighs 186 centimeters, 205 pounds, 93 kilograms, and he's a center who shoots left. So if you're wondering, Nordic, we've done so many center prospect previews. Why are there so many of them? That's just how it is this year. It's a center-filled draft, it seems like. So I just want to put that out there. But yeah, again, like the hype around this kid is real. But I do feel like he's somebody who's a little bit more up in the air when it comes to rankings. And some people have him 5th. Some people have him 13th. Let's go through the draft rankings here that we've been going through a lot. Consolidated ranking has him 5th, so top 5. Elite Prospects has him 13th, outside the top 10. Bob McKenzie, top 5, 5th overall. Craig Button, top 3, 3rd overall. Daily Faceoff has him 6th. And then in NHL Central Scouting with European skaters, he is the number 1 ranked guy. Recruit Scouting has him 8th overall, and Dauber Prospects has him 6th overall. Yours truly has him at 5th overall. So I like Frondell. I think this guy has some potential to be a really good two-way forward in the NHL. And the biggest thing that I like to say with prospects is they are getting experience over in Sweden that they are not getting when they would play in the CHL or NCAA. Because, again, I know for some of these leagues, Frondell has played in the U18s, the U20s of these leagues. But he's also played in some of the leagues where he's playing against literal NHL veterans and older players. Guys who are there who are adults, who have plenty of experience playing pro hockey in Sweden. And Frondell getting the experience for that is incredibly valuable. And you guys know me. If you guys have been following for a long time, you will know that that is something that I really strive by and hold myself to. Is like these Swedish players and these guys who play overseas, they get a lot more experience than some other prospects may, to be honest with you. So going through some of the stats here, Djurgårdens is very interesting because they have multiple leagues that they're involved in. They have the U18, they have the U20, they have the Swedish 2, and then they have the SHL. So there's so many leagues that Djurgårdens is involved with. But Frondell's played in all of them and has been very good in all of them. He played 33 games in 23-24 in J20/J18. He had 23 goals, 26 assists for 49 points. Now, we're going to combine some stats here because I think that's way better to kind of measure things here. I think otherwise it's going to be a little difficult, I'm not going to lie to you. But overall, a good season from a young kid in Frondell. That's 2 years out, a year out from his draft year. And I think that he had a good season that year alongside Victor Eklund as well. This past year with J20. Now, what's weird is that he played games with J20 and in the Swedish 2 League. So he played in a couple teams over there in Sweden. 10 games played, 5 goals, 2 assists for 7 points in the J20 this past year. But in the Swedish 2 League, where he played way more, he had 11 goals, 14 assists, for 25 points in 29 games played. So overall, in the J20, J18s, he had 43 games, had 28 goals, 28 assists for 56 points. I think pretty damn good numbers for basically the Swedish juniors, I guess you could say. And then even, too, in the Swedish 2 League was pretty good, I got to say. So I think those numbers really matter. They really do. And I think that seeing how he can dominate with the kids and the other guys in his prospect year, and as well as that too, play very good in the secondary leagues in Sweden, I think that really is important. Now, do I think Frondell is ready for the NHL next season? No, I don't think he is. I think with guys like this, I think they need a year or two in the SHL to really kind of develop. I am speaking a little bit highly here on Frondell, but overall, he hasn't played in the SHL just yet. I think maybe next season he gets that opportunity, but I'm liking his odds. In the U18s and U20s in Sweden, World Juniors and World Championships and all that, he's been good. 32 games played, 16 goals, 20 assists, 36 points. That includes some runs to medals games there during that time. And again, he's been a very good player when it comes to playing in the Olympics in Sweden. I think that is really important there as well. Your World Juniors play really does affect your draft value, and Frondell had a decent World Juniors, so I got to put that out there 100%. But overall, this kid has succeeded in everything when it comes to the junior leagues in Sweden, when it comes to the minor leagues in Sweden, and even when it comes to the World Juniors in the Sweden teams. I think he's done a very good job. The only test, as I said earlier, is really just the SHL, honestly. His strength has really good speed. This kid moves the puck very well. He has a really good acceleration. He's a little bit like he's not tall. He's like average height, but he's pretty good for his speed. I'll say that right here. He has an unreal shot. His shot is awesome. This is going to be somebody who really could score like 30 goals in the NHL consistently when he gets to that point. He has nice passing, good puck control, really good IQ as well. Again, I've said this a lot with a lot of players. When you're able to kind of like read plays and have that knowledge and IQ, it's incredibly important. And I think a lot of players don't succeed without it. So it's really good that Frondell has that. Some of his weaknesses, his physicality, I think that can be improved upon. I think, again, he is actually a little bit more on the heavier side when it comes to prospects in this draft, being over 200 pounds, but he could improve on that. Again, as I said, defensive game, I think that he has really the good frameworks of a really good two-way forward, but there's still things to be worked on there. And then overall playmaking, he's a good passer, but just kind of moving the puck around a little bit. He could be a little bit better on that. But again, this guy has the tool sets to be a consistent NHL guy. I think his ceiling really could be a first-line center. So, as we've been doing here for the last couple of previews, we have the excerpts from the Elite Prospects Draft Guide, and we also have the Hockey News' Draft Guide here as well. So we have some comparables, and we also have some of the shades of players that he could become. The best case scenario for Anton Frondell, according to the Hockey News, is Robert Thomas, an underrated player on St. Louis who has been a consistent 70-point guy in his career. I wouldn't mind that for Frondell, and he's also not that bad on the two-way side of things either. I like that comparison. Now, he's showing shades of, I'm going to say this right here, right now, a New York Islander. And let me explain before you guys rage in the comment section. According to Elite Prospects, he shows the shades of Bo Horvat, Anders Lee, and Brock Nelson. So, again, just three guys who are Islanders. Bo Horvat himself, who is a very good center. I think I could see Frondell being like a Bo Horvat type of player. That actually wouldn't surprise me. I actually wouldn't hate that whatsoever. I like that comparison, actually. I like that a lot. I really do think that this kid has the talent to be a really good first-line center in his prime. And I think, again, he has, the weight and the height and the overall skill set to really put something good together here. So reading into the Elite Prospects Guide a little bit, it says, quote, an overpowering two-way forward with high-end release and off-the-puck instincts around the slot, upside hinges on play driving and playmaking skill. So, again, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I think his overall potential really hinges on if he can really narrow down his playmaking skills and just really drive plays. I think that's the biggest thing that Frondell really does kind of struggle with. So again, as I've said in these previews, Elite Prospects does this thing where they range his skill sets on a tool grade from a 1.0 scale to a 9.0 scale. So bear with me here as we go through them. His skating, a 5 out of 9. That's pretty good, honestly. It's actually a little bit average. When you look at these other prospects, that's still pretty damn good. His shooting's a 7. So his shooting is very good. I think that's definitely something that is a positive in his game. His passing, I like a lot. 5.5. I think it can be better, but still very good. Stick handling, a 6. So again, he's got good handles with the puck. His sense is a 5.5, and then his physicality is a 7.5. So I think again, his physicality is actually pretty decent. When it comes to hitting, he's a little bit eh. But overall, like his hard working, winning those one-on-one battles in the corners and battling for pucks, he has that. And I think that you can really respect a player for having those kind of attributes, because when you do have those kind of attributes, you really can succeed in the NHL. Just want to put that out there, honestly. So reading the profile here a little bit, this time last year, Anton Frondell was viewed by many as a legitimate contender for the first overall pick. He had finished with a very productive draft minus 1 year in the Djurgården's J20 squad and already got a handful of games at the men's level, too. But what had truly exploded was his stock, was his performance in the February U18 Five Nations tournament that saw him recording 6 goals and 7 points in just 4 games while centering Sweden's top line as an underager. The start of Frondell's draft season wasn't painless, though. He had missed the end of the season, end of last season, including the U18s, due to an injury, then suffered another one in early autumn that caused him to miss the first weeks of the season. Frondell then spent the first half of the season alternating between the Hockey Allsvenskan and the J20 level, failing to make the team for the World Juniors. The second half of the season represented Frondell's breakthrough in the Allsvenskan, which is the secondary Swedish league that I was mentioning. He ended in the regular season with a hot streak that saw him adding 19 points in just 11 games. His .86 point per game mark is a new record amongst U18 skaters in the league's history. Made all the impressive by the fact that he didn't play top line minutes at any point during the season. In the playoffs, Frondell helped Djurgården to a championship and an SHL promotion. Frondell's separating skill is his ability to get away from the puck combined with a high-end shooting talent. He gets off the wall and beats defensemen for rebounds and deflections, pushing the pace away from the puck, but also slowing down or dropping to the high slot when it's the right course of action. So again, just everything that I've said about Frondell lines up here perfectly in this. I really think this kid has the talent to be a legitimate first-line center, an elite first-line center at that. I don't think he's ready for the NHL right away. I think he could use a year in Sweden, just in the SHL, which could be very good for his development. We've seen a lot of players do that, not just a guy like Frondell. But yeah, I like this guy a lot. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on Anton Frondell. Thank you very much for watching. We have Caleb Denoye next up here in the profiles. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. I almost went through the whole video without burping, but anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.